Let's talk about Uranus moving into the freedom and adventure loving, connection focused air sign of Gemini. I have been wanting to do this video for you, my friend, for some time now, and I am super excited about this transit. Why? Because Uranus has been in earthly Taurus where it is not comfortable. It is not its natural habitat. Uranus wants to break us free of stagnation. It wants to move us into new territory. And now it is moving into a sign in which it can thrive. And this is exciting and what I want to do a deep dive with you on in this video. Because it's true that Uranus is a wild card energy. It's electrical. It can deliver shocks. It can bring unexpected changes. It is the planet of breakdowns, but also breakthroughs and breaking free. It can inspire us and elevate us with epiphanies and aha moments, and it can set us on a brand new course that is meant for us to go on based on our soul's trajectory. So in this video, I'm going to share with you everything you need to know about Uranus moving into Gemini in 2025. What are the dates? What are the themes that you can expect collectively and in your own life? And how can we best work with these energies with the most ease and grace? Watch part 1 because this is where I'm going to do that deep dive, and this is how you are going to get a clear sense of how you can make the most of this epic transit of Uranus moving into Gemini. And in part 2, I will share with you where you will most be feeling Uranus and Gemini in your natal astrology chart corresponding to the area of life in which you will be feeling it based on your rising sign. You can also listen to your sun and moon signs for further themes that you might experience. And as always, I will also be pulling an oracle card for each of the 12 signs. So before we get into it, I want to say hello and welcome. If you are brand new to the channel, I am so glad you have found us. It's my intention that we create a like-minded community so that we can support one another. Every Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time is when my videos generally go live. So please join us in the chat. Take a moment now to hit like on this video and tap the subscribe button so you don't miss a video. Welcome back to all of you who've been watching my videos. I am so grateful to those of you who subscribed. If you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It really makes a difference to the support and growth of the channel. I'm Betsy. I'm a psychic astrologer and intuitive life coach, and it is my absolute joy, my passion, my dedication to empower you through Western tropical astrology. I also weave in divine downloads and spiritual insights, both in my videos and my astrology consultations. Yes, I do astrology readings. Stay tuned till the end of this video when I will tell you more about my offerings. And I also have a free gift for you. So I'll tell you how you can get that free gift at the end of the video. In addition, I write about the astrology between videos in my weekly inspirational astrology updates. So if you'd like to get those direct to your inbox before they go out on social media, go to my website, sign up for free, and you will get my free instant download gift right away. So first, let's talk about the dates that Uranus will be in Gemini. Uranus transits last about 7 to 8 years. Uranus has been in the Earth sign of Taurus since 2018, and it will enter Gemini July 7th and stay there until November 7th of 2025, about 4 months. So this year in 2025, Uranus is dipping its toe, as we say, in the air sign of Gemini. And then it will go back into Taurus and be in Taurus through late April of 2026. April 25th of 2026, Uranus will re-enter Gemini to stay until August 2032. Uranus cycles take about 84 years. So Uranus has not been in Gemini since 1941 to 1949, which I will touch on later in the video. The area of your chart, your natal chart, and your life in which you will be experiencing Uranus transiting in Gemini is where you may experience restlessness, a desire to break free of the familiar, of the routine, of stagnation for some of you. You may want to reinvent yourself here or reinvent your life in this aspect of your everyday experience. You could also have a spiritual awakening, or you could innovate something new and exciting in this area of your life. This said, it is really important for us to remember with any astrology transit that how we feel the energies and when we feel the energies will depend on when and where in our natal charts transiting Uranus is aspecting planets or points in our natal charts. Additionally, how you feel the energies will depend on whether Uranus is making a more tense or what we call a hard aspect to one of your planets or points, or a more harmonious one. The harder aspects, such as the squares and oppositions, and sometimes the conjunctions can bring quite intense energy, but it can also be wonderful opportunities for change. The harder or more intense aspects tend to bring some tension or pressure or need to break through a fear in order to say yes to the change that Uranus is bringing. Even with a hard aspect, the change, once we say yes to it, can be quite exciting and stimulating and something that we look back on and say, wow, I did that. That was amazing. I am so proud of myself, and it was such a high point of my life. So who will most feel this transit of Uranus entering Gemini? It is happening in a mutable sign. So those of you with planets or points in the mutable signs, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, or Virgo, you are going to feel this transit most intensely, most personally. In addition, if you have planets or points in Leo or Aries, you're going to receive a harmonizing energy, a sextile, as we call it, and that is often a new opportunity or a solution. If you have planets or points in Aquarius or Libra, when Uranus activates those planets or points in your chart, you'll receive a trine, and that is ease and flow, and it could be something that feels like a miracle or magic landing in your lap. Now, it is my firm belief that astrology is meant for our empowerment, and this is absolutely my approach and how I guide my clients in readings and what I want to share with you in these videos. So to receive the empowering energy of Uranus and Gemini, we want to look at what is the purpose of a Uranus transit anyway. Uranus wants to awaken us to our most authentic, alive, vibrant self. It reminds me of the quote by Howard Thurman, which is, don't ask what the world needs, ask what brings you alive, because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. And because Uranus is an electrical energy and it is very stimulating and it does move quickly, and it can feel like one day my life was like this and the next day it was very different. And I'm going to give you an example of that. Because of this, it can be discombobulating to our human self. It can take us a little bit to adjust to the change that it brings. And probably my most memorable Uranus transit was when I was searching for a new career after I left a career as an attorney. I had that feeling that there's something more. What am I meant to do? I was in a very seeking phase of my life, asking spirit, asking the divine, just please, please, begging the divine, please, please show me the way, show me what my passion is. And that is when one night, in the middle of the night, I woke up from a crazy dream. And it was crazy because in my dream, I was doing stand-up comedy, and I had never ever done anything like that before, not even close. I was pretty shy as a kid. And that was not what I had in mind when I asked Spirit to give me a sign. It terrified me. The idea of getting up on stage and telling jokes, that terrified me. I'd only been to a comedy club in my life maybe once or twice. The dream was so clear and it was so palpable, and it literally possessed me. Now, I go into this in much more detail in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, but I'm bringing it up to you now because the next morning after I had that dream, I felt like the divine had spoken to me. I felt like I had been given a mission, marching orders, and I had to say yes. And immediately I found a class in beginning stand-up comedy. I took that class. One thing led to another, and pretty soon I was doing it professionally, which I did for 2 years. I had no idea where that was going to lead. I had little children at the time. I had to get them up for school early in the morning. It did not fit with my life at all, but I was so inspired, and inspiration that came out of nowhere, that I didn't feel I had a choice. And this can be what Uranus does, especially when we get a hard transit to our natal Uranus. And I see Uranus energy as the soul's way of waking us up to something that we are meant to do, if only as a stepping stone. It was a stepping stone for me. I didn't want to be a professional comedian. I wasn't going to go on the road. I wasn't going to leave my children for days on end. But it did give me the courage to move through something harder than I've ever done in my life. And as a result, I could then later, when I realized I wanted to be a spiritual coach, give workshops, work with groups, and then do astrology videos on YouTube. So you can see how that experience set me up for what I do now. Uranus is the realm of the heavens. It is the cosmic intelligence. It is how we receive divine downloads, spiritual insights, those epiphanies and aha moments that change our perceptions and free us, because this is the ultimate purpose, is to free and liberate us into living the most soul-aligned life experience. Uranus is not just associated with reinventing yourself or innovating something new, which could be a product or a service or just a new way of expressing yourself. It's also the archetype of the rebel, the revolutionary, the activist. And this may be new to some of you. For all of us in our early 40s, when we have the famous midlife crisis, that is a Uranus transit. That is when Uranus makes an opposition to your natal Uranus in your astrology chart. This is when people often leave a career, they leave a marriage, they walk away from a religion. It's a breaking free energy, or they breathe new life into a career or a marriage. They find a way to do it differently. They take an adventure with their spouse, for example. They find a way to reignite the passion in this area of their life. Now, also around age 20 to 22 and 62 to 65, we have what's called our Uranus square. And this is where Uranus makes a square to our natal Uranus. Around these times, we also feel like we have to break free from something. We have to become more independent. We have to follow our own inner muse. And my second Uranus square is when I sold everything I owned and moved to Mexico. So I'm sprinkling in these examples so that you get a sense of some of the ways that Uranus can work on us, with us, through us. And Uranus doesn't just make transits, of course, to our natal Uranus. It makes transits to any of our planets or points. But if we don't listen to this energy, this desire for authenticity, this need to stay true to ourselves, if we don't listen to it, if we drag our feet, if we stay in our comfort zone, if we are clinging to our usual reality and our soul needs to progress and move forward, then we may have an external event that push us to make a needed change, or that maybe show us the truth, show us a new reality that we need to see in order to make a decision that's right for us. Now, the sign that Uranus is transiting in doesn't just flavor the energy, it gives us the themes. It tells us a lot about what we can expect. And since 2018, Uranus has been in Taurus. This is an earth sign. It wants to maintain its resources. It's a building sign. It is a manifesting energy. But because Taurus is a fixed sign, its desire is to protect its resources. It is focused on material security. So many of us have been focused on this for some time now, but remember, it's Uranus, so it's shaken up a lot of the things that Taurus rules with, like finances and our financial systems. We've had a very volatile stock market. We've had innovations in permaculture. We've had a lot of conversations, and I'm sure quite a bit of technology that is being worked on to deal with climate change. At least I hope that we're moving in that direction. And most notably, because Taurus is an earth sign and Uranus is the shaker upper, we've had many natural disasters, floods, earthquakes, fires, hurricanes that have been quite tragic for many, many people. And you could have felt more resistance in the area of your life where Uranus has been transiting in Taurus, because Uranus energy is not a natural match with Taurus energy. However, Uranus moving into Gemini is a very different story. Uranus in Gemini will be in its element. Why do I say this? First of all, Uranus is electrical energy. It thrives in an air sign. Also, Gemini is a mutable air sign. Mutable is changeable, and Uranus is about change. Uranus wants to free us. Gemini wants freedom. Gemini is Mercury ruled, and Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. They are both communication energies. So there's an ease, a flow, even a natural playfulness, spontaneity. In Gemini energy, we accept change more easily. Gemini is associated with communication, our thinking, and this means that Uranus wants to help us to create and manifest what our hearts desire through aligning our thoughts and our inner narrative with the reality that we want to create. Gemini is the archetype of the storyteller, which means we look to what is our inner narrative? What are we telling ourselves? What are we telling others? How can we use our words to manifest a new chapter in our lives? Gemini is also associated with the magician, and the magician is the alchemist. It allows us to turn dross into gold. It allows us to embrace and celebrate spontaneous awarenesses, changes, new choices and actions that are aligned with our playful spirit, our childlike self even. There's a magic to Gemini energy, the joy of synchronicity, the joy of having things happen in life that feel otherworldly, because in Gemini energy, we have one foot in this earthly world and one foot in the ethereal world. And the goal is to bring those worlds together, to connect them, to make our mundane lives more interesting, more full of surprise, happy unexpected miracles. So because Gemini is associated with communication and Uranus is new inventions, new technologies, we can expect new ways of communicating. Maybe texting will become a thing of the past. Imagine that. More ways to connect with one another. Perhaps our spiritual technologies within us will allow us to communicate more telepathically with ease. And not only that, to realize, to open up, because again, realization, Uranus, to open up to the idea and the truth that we do have this superpower. We are wired to communicate through our third eye. And what I sense and feel about this energy is that the throat chakra, that's Mercury, that's Gemini, the third eye, and the crown chakra are all going to open up for many of us exponentially, or at least to the next level. And we will have, during this 7 or so years of Uranus and Gemini, more and more awareness that we do create our reality with our thoughts. This energy will be that much more amplified and enhanced because Gemini air makes a trine to Pluto and Aquarius, also air. And we have the fire of Saturn and Neptune in Aries, which is going to spark a lot of energized, inspired action for many of us. There's no question in my mind that with Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini, we are definitely raising our vibrational frequency individually and as a collective. Now, Gemini is also associated with words and wordplay. Maybe we'll have new languages invented. It is the third house of the zodiac, that is siblings and neighbors. Perhaps it will help us to work better in community together, but also to attract more soul sisters, more soul brothers into our lives and more soul mates, I believe, especially because Gemini is also the archetype of the lovers. With its trine to Pluto and Aquarius, we may see more ease, more technologies, more facilitations of meetups, of local networking, online dating, perhaps new spiritual online dating apps, and definitely new social media platforms. I'm sure we will see radical change in how we get our information in the media. We've already been seeing that, but that will definitely shift in ways that maybe we can't even fathom now. And same with technology, air travel, transportation, flying cars. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think we're going to have many more innovations in transportation and communication than we can even imagine at this point. On a personal level, the best way to work with this energy is to stay open to new perceptions, is to consciously ask the divine if you've had any challenge with manifesting the reality that you want, my friend. Consciously intending that you receive the support of the divine to help you to create a new inner narrative, a new story, to manifest what you so desire in your life. I hope that collectively we will all become more open-minded, because that's Gemini energy. And Gemini energy, we can see from all sides. We see all perspectives. It's easier for us to get along with others because we can see that even though we're different, we can understand where they're coming from and not expect them to change, not have so much fear about our differences. In other words, I hope this energy helps us to more peacefully coexist despite our differences. Now, Gemini also rules everyday monetary transactions. Keep in mind that it's ruled by Mercury. It is connected to the third house, and the third house is our everyday errands and purchases and so on. So I do see us moving almost completely, if not completely, to a digital economy. Perhaps we will stop using cash completely. And of course, this opens up a lot of concerns around privacy, around being tracked. And this is where we're going to have to be really conscientious and discerning about protecting our rights and our privacy. Our education systems are also going to go through radical change, I believe, because Gemini rules education, K through 12 education specifically. I hope that we will see wellness and emotional intelligence begin to be taught at early ages, and astrology and other metaphysical teachings happen in our schools. I would love to see that. Now, at the beginning of this video, when I gave you the dates, I said the last time that Uranus was in Gemini was 1941 to 49, and that was when we were ending a world war. There were incredible inventions around computers and transistors and supersonic flights and more. But also you may have heard other astrologers bring up civil war or neighboring countries at war. And this is definitely a possibility. This was the theme when Uranus was here last. However, we were not at the same evolutionary soul growth level or octave, if you will, back in the 40s as we are now. Yes, we are still having tragic wars going on, but I believe that Uranus and Gemini could just as much cause a mass awakening, or at least enough people becoming awakened to the truth of who they are, less people living from fear, more people living from love and awareness and peaceful coexistence, that we could just as likely go in that direction. And what makes me especially hopeful is that Uranus in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius, and Neptune in Aries will all harmonize. They will all make a triad, which is also known as a minor grand trine in astrology. The short of it is, these energies work together. They energize one another in harmonious, keyword harmonious, ways. And they are going to come together exactly. In other words, they will all come together at the same degree point 3 times during the first 3 years of Uranus and Gemini. The first time that we're going to have an exact minor grand trine of these 3 energies will be mid-August to mid-September of 2025, when they will all meet up at 1 degree. The second time will be in July of 2026, when they will all come together at 4 degrees. And then the third time will be in June of 2027, when they will come together at 6 degrees. Now, this is not the only time that these energies will be harmonizing. They will be within orb at different times during this transit, always working together. But on a personal level, if you, my friend, have planets or points close to any of these degrees, 1 degree, mid-August to mid-September of 2025, 4 degrees, July of 2026, and 6 degrees in June of 2027, you will feel this harmonious minor grand trine most personally in your natal chart and your life. And what I feel is going on a deeper level with this harmonious triad, Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini, and Neptune in fiery Aries, is that this energy is going to catalyze the superpowers within each of us. The superpower of Pluto and Aquarius will put us back in integrity with our soul and ignite our passion. The superpower of Uranus and Gemini can help us to change our thinking and create a positive new reality. And the superpower of Neptune and Aries can bring in that fire and that air together. They spark new inspiration that can give us the courage to bravely go forward and say yes to what our hearts most desire. And one more point, because Saturn will be in Aries, and Saturn not only restricts or delays, it also helps us to make morally sound decisions, decisions that are in alignment with our wisdom. That's going to help, hopefully, our leaders and each of us individually to slow down or curb any impulsive actions that would be unwise, and instead to inspire us to make choices from wisdom and love and the spark of divine creativity and joy within each of us. Okay, my friend, let us do the 12 sign readings now. Listen to your rising sign. This is the area of your natal chart corresponding to the area of your life in which you will be having this Uranus and Gemini transit based on the whole sign house system. Listen to your sun sign and your moon sign as well for further themes and intuitive messages. And we are going to start with Gemini because beautiful Gemini, Uranus is moving into your sign, and this is truly, truly exciting. I am right there with you. I have a stellium of planets in Gemini. Of course, our human selves don't like change. They do not. And especially uncertainty. However, Gems, we are wired for this. We are wired for change. You already know this. And we are here partly to usher in a new collective reality for everyone over the next 7 years. So beautiful Gems, you are going to experience Uranus in your sign in your first house, if you're a Gemini rising, in your first house of identity. Now, before I go into that, I want to mention that Uranus has been in Taurus in your 12th house. And the 12th house is the house of awakening. It's the house of rest and retreat, yes, but also your mystical self and the subconscious mind. So I believe that many of you have done some sort of you've had some sort of awakening. You've reprogrammed your subconscious mind. You have become aware of a story, perhaps, that you were telling yourself that was based on a past life experience or a past, on your childhood that wasn't empowering. Leave me a comment. Let me know if Uranus and Taurus has been empowering for Gemini, for you as a Gemini rising in your 12th house. Uranus 12th house transit can also be discombobulating. It can also bring in karmic relationships or karmic events that feel quite disruptive to your life. So that could have happened as well. Now Uranus is in your first house. What does this mean? It means that you are ready for a new role. You are ready, many of you, to reinvent yourself, whether this is in career or in your personal life. You are ready for a new relationship, some of you, a new partnership, some of you. Roles, of course, are our titles, in any area of our life, who we are in our family, who we are in our career, who we are in our with our friends. Like you could change your appearance. You could change so I'm getting this image of somebody who's like, I'm a whole new person now. I used to dress this way. Now I dress this way. There's a freedom here. Gems, you need freedom. You know that you need flexibility. You know that you need variety. You are the sign that helps others, yourself and others, transform into a new person that's more aligned with your soul. So you could still have, if you didn't have a spiritual awakening when Uranus was in the 12th house for you, you could have it when Uranus is in the first house for you. You could meet somebody because remember, in the first house, we have the 7th house opposite, and the 7th house is our relationship. So you could meet somebody when this Uranus transiting your first house is making any aspects to any 7th house energies, and this could be on an angle of your chart too. You could meet somebody that is quite different from the usual person. You could have many people come into your life that are really different, but they open you up. They become catalysts for your awakening. This could happen too. So don't be surprised if you want to leave your job. Don't be surprised if you want to start a new business. Don't be surprised if you want to retire if you're not retired already. Don't be surprised if there isn't some sort of freedom that you are really desiring to say yes to. And also, gems, because this is your first house, if it's happening near your ascendant, or when, I should say when, during the next 7 years, you will get a conjunction to your ascendant. And when we have an ascendant conjunction, that's when we could desire freedom, change in any area of our life. You could feel quite restless. Those of you who have planets or points in the very early degrees, 0 to 1, during this year 2025, that's when you will immediately, right out of the gate, have a conjunction. I'm going to have a conjunction to my Venus. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. I'm getting nervous just thinking about it, but it's good nervousness. It's like excited. It's like before you're about to, go on stage, or before you're about to do anything that has a little bit of risk or fear involved, we get a little nervous, right? That's just natural. We can transform that fear or nervousness into enthusiasm and excitement and thrive. So beautiful, gems. I am now going to shuffle for you, and we are going to see what the cards have to say for you and your new identity. There's going to be some new identity for you. When, again, the timing all depends on when Uranus makes an activation to a planet or point in your chart. And we're talking about your Gemini energy here, your planets or points in your Gemini energy. So let's see what the cards have to say, gems. And I also feel a new expression from many of you. I feel a new soul level expression, more spontaneity, more playfulness, more allowing yourself to be you. You guys already see, because I have so much Gemini energy in my chart, you already see that I do things differently. I sing even though I don't have a performance quality voice. Like, I do things that are in alignment with my inner child because I know that's part of my path. We all have our own path. But more expression that's aligned with your childlike self will be really good for you with Uranus and Gemini as well. Have a beginner's mind. If you just landed here on the planet, what would you say yes to? Okay, your card, gems, your card is... It is lost in space, needing direction. Gemini. I love the image on this card. She is cozying up to the planet. And I feel that the message of this card, for any of you that feel lost in space right now, for any of you that feel like you don't have direction, that would be very natural for a transit that's coming up, or it's happening. Depending on when you're watching this video, it would be very natural. Because what happens when we're about to go through a change? First of all, our human self can freak out. We don't want to freak out. Our human self can feel some anxiety coming on. And second of all, change is uncertainty. We don't know until it happens what's going to happen. Like the example that I gave in the beginning of this video, where I had that moment of a dream in which I was doing comedy and I went out and did comedy. Like, my life changed as soon as I had that dream. So until we have that moment, that spark of inspiration, we don't know. And this card is saying, if you need direction, talk to the divine. If you need direction, do some automatic writing, pray, meditate, whatever you do. But know that what you really need to do, or I don't like the word need, what you really are encouraged to do is to cozy up to Uranus, cozy up to the change, lean in to the change. Lean in like you would if you went on a roller coaster ride, because this change is for you. It is for you. It is guiding you in the direction of your soul's, not just empowerment, but full, unbridled, gorgeous expression. Beautiful Gemini. Let me know in the comments if you resonate with this. I would love to hear. Okay, Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Okay, Taurus, you have had Uranus in your sign. You have had Uranus in your first house, if you're Taurus rising, for the last 7+ years. Okay, that is going to completely change for you next April, when Uranus goes into Gemini, and I mean April 2026. I give all the dates at the beginning of this video. That will completely change. But for 4 months of this year of 2025, we will all have Uranus in Gemini. And that's going to happen for you in your second house of material security and possessions and self-love and self-worth and your earned income. So, but before I go there, I want to go back for a moment to where Uranus has been while it's been in your sign. And I know that's been quite a shakeup for all of you because Uranus can do that. But Uranus can also bring in powerful, positive change. For you, that's been in your first house, Taurus. Have you changed a role? Has your identity shifted? Have you done something new and different that you didn't do before? Did a relationship perhaps leave your life? Did you say goodbye to a relationship? All of these are possibilities that could have gone on for you. There was definitely uncertainty and instability for you in your first house of identity. Uranus wanted you to open up to your true, authentic nature and to let go of anything that wasn't in alignment with your integrity. So that happened for you. Now in Gemini, in your second house, this is a call, an opportunity to look at what you need to change in terms of your material world. Do you want to leave your job? Are you happy with your income? Do you want to do something else? Do you want to earn money in a different way? Do you want to start something on the side, like a side, whatever it could be for you? It's anything that earns you money. Do you want to retire, some of you? Do you want to increase your level of self-love or self-worth or deserving? Do you feel that your life needs to be more aligned with your values? In the second house, we look at possessions. We look at self-reliance. Do you feel self-reliant? And if not, in what way can you become more self-reliant? Uranus brings about a restlessness when it gets close to your planets and points. Or you may just feel it as a theme, a bit of restlessness, a bit of desire to make some sort of a shift. So, Taurus, I know that your material security is the second house is it's your house. It's a place where you feel comfort. It's a place that is your house. So you rule this area. So and having quality possessions, knowing that you are taken care of and that you can succeed in the things that you do is very important to you. So let me pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say for you, Taurus. So your card is gathering around the power of community. This is very Aquarian, and we do have Pluto in Aquarius making a trine to Uranus and Gemini. And what I love about this card is that it's very you, Taurus. It's very earthy. All of the mushrooms. I feel like this card is saying you are going to feel more stable and secure, self-reliant, and like you're not doing life alone if you put an emphasis on community this year. If you make sure that the people that you are spending time with are like-minded and you're just joining forces with other people. This card is a card saying there's power in community. Where two or more gather, amazing positive changes can occur. And sink your roots down deep, Taurus, and all of your needs will be met. The card is 26, which is an 8 vibration, and 8 is abundance. So keep your mind in abundance thinking, and all will be beautiful and well for you, Taurus. If you resonate with this card or message, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Aries, hello, beautiful Aries. Aries, you are going to be experiencing a lot of new energy this year with Saturn and Neptune going into your sign, harmonizing with Uranus in Gemini. And Uranus will be in Gemini for you in your third house of moving and shaking, errands, networks, daily, everything, neighbors, siblings, devices, vehicles, short trips, and a lot more. This is the house for you of messaging and writing and growth and learning. So before I say more about this, I want to say that for you, Aries, Uranus has been in Taurus for you in your second house of material security. And this is where you may have experienced a change. You may have had some change in your assets. You could have had money that came and went, or money that went. You could have had a change in your income for sure. You could have had a change in your self-worth, deserving, hopefully increasing your self-love and aligning your life more with your values than ever before. Now, Aries, Uranus and Gemini makes a beautiful sextile to your energy. I really love this for you. This is an opportunity or a solution, and it is your neighborhood. So this is a time to really be asking yourself, do I like where I am? Am I in the location that is a match for me? Uranus just wants us to get in sync with its energy, which is to really reflect on, do I need a change, or is everything in perfect divine flow for me? I think many of you with Uranus here are going to be thinking about coming out with a message or doing freelance work, having your own business, changing your mindset, changing your inner narrative, maybe so that you can create the reality that you want. Some of you will heal a relationship with a sibling, a neighbor, or an aunt, uncle, or cousin, or you will have some sort of upset with one of those people and set clear boundaries if you are no longer in alignment. The thing about Uranus is it takes away, well, I don't want to say it takes away, it's an energy that wants to free and liberate us. So if a relationship ends, or we have to take space from a sibling, neighbor, landlord, aunt, uncle, or cousin, and so forth, it is because we are not, at least currently, aligned with their energy, or their energy is not in sync with ours. And that is the best thing we can do so that we can live in alignment with our soul and be our most authentic selves. Okay, Aries, let me pull a card for you now. One more quick shuffle here for you, and then let's see what the cards have to say, Aries. For your transit of Uranus in Gemini, your card is Will of the Wisp, Treasures Hidden in the Shadows. What I love about this card as it relates to this transit is all of the blue. To me, this is a very throat chakra card, but it's also the crown chakra and the third eye and connecting to the divine. All of the blue reminds me of Aquarian energy. It reminds me of gathering together in community. The third house where you're having this transit is your local community. And also, the deeper message here is that there is a higher being, either your own higher self, your soul, siblings, soul sisters, soul brothers, your own spirit guides. They have a message for you. You are meant to go deep into your own shadow, Aries. The shadow can be our most powerful qualities that we've suppressed. The shadow can be where we feel like we're too much and we are not being we're not completely authentically expressing the joy. The shadow can be a part of you that has just been in hiding. So, beautiful Aries. To me, this is a card that is saying it's time to come out more. I'm coming out. I'm being very honest. I want the world to know. I got to let it show. You get the idea, Aries. It's time for you to come out even more as the most vibrant, in the most vibrant expression of who you are meant to be and what lights you up. What lights you up and inspires you. That is what you are meant to say yes to, beautiful Aries. If anything that I shared resonates for you, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear. Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, you are going to experience Uranus and Gemini in your fourth house of home, family, and childhood conditioning, roots, belonging. Pisces, this transit wants to bring you into beautiful sync and alignment with your home sanctuary, with family members, with chosen family, perhaps. This energy is going to change, I believe, for you, either something in your home life, family life, or your career, or you will do some healing with your inner child and you will more and more embrace the child within you and bring your life more into alignment with what you need on that very deep, deep level, that need to belong, that need to feel like you belong within yourself, like you have security within yourself. Now, Uranus has been in Taurus for you in your third house. in your third house, Pisces. And so Uranus in your third house may have brought about a change in your mindset, your perceptions, your worldview, your communication styles, your siblings, neighbors, aunts, uncles, and cousins. Or you may have made a change in like working, doing freelance work. You may have grown, you may have written something, you may have, when I say written something, like you may have started some sort of writing project or done a writing project. You could have written a book. You could have, really initiated yourself as in some sort of business, some sort of your own business, freelancing. Or you could have changed your location. You could have changed the way you do your life in some way, your transportation. Now, though, this transit of Uranus and Gemini is happening at a very core level place of your life. It's the foundation of your chart, the fourth house. So it's an important transit for you, Pisces. And at the same time, this year we have the North Node now in your sign. So it's a really important time for you to check in with yourself. Are you happy with relationships that have to do with home and family? Is there any change that you need to make? Do you want to change your home? Do you want to remodel it, redecorate it, move? Do you want to, start a new home someplace else? Do you want to buy a home, sell a home, build a home? You get the idea. Really, this is a very deep level awareness for you about, do I feel like I belong where I am in the world? And I know that a lot of us don't feel like we belong here because we are from other planets or other galaxies or other times. We are, but at the same time, it is all of our birthright to feel secure and safe and rooted wherever we are finding ourselves on this human adventure. Oh, and Pisces, I also should add that this energy is making a square to your energy. And what that means is that you will feel compelled to make some sort of change during this 7+ year time of Uranus and Gemini, depending on when it's activating your planets and points, something I can share with you in an astrology reading. You will feel the energy in a more compelling way. That's what a square is. We feel like we're moved to act. Sometimes it's an inspiration. Sometimes it is a pressure. Sometimes it is something we wouldn't have chosen, but it's because our soul is waking us up to the truth of a change we need to make for our highest good. So let me pull a card for you, Pisces, and see what the cards have to say for you. Pisces. Ooh, Pisces, I love this card. This is actually very, very much reminds me of your energy. There's so much water in this card. It's about overflow, overwhelm and plenty. Sometimes, Pisces, you can feel overwhelmed because you do easily absorb other people's energy. You do easily fill the container of other people's energy. It's easy to feel overwhelmed on an emotional level, but this card is saying whatever's happening in your life right now, for many of you, you're experiencing overflow. You could feel overwhelmed because there's so many good things coming to you that you sense that, and it brings some anxiety because you don't know what it means. This is saying there's actually plenty. You have plenty. See all the white light. You're being protected. You're being guarded. You're being guided. Know that whatever is happening, all the green, healing energy, heart healing, know that whatever is going on for you right now, if you feel emotionally overwhelmed, it will pass in February, especially. And I'm going to do a separate video for everyone on the February 2025 astrology. In February, especially, there's a lot of water energy, a lot of Piscean energy. So you could feel overwhelmed right now. There is right now too, Neptune, Saturn, the North Node, all in your sign. Venus is in your sign, so you could, but know that whatever's happening is just a sign, if it feels like too much, that all of your needs are met, and that there is no other shoe that's dropping. You can root yourself in the truth that you are a divine being manifesting the abundance and joy and love that you desire and need in your life, beautiful Pisces. So if this card resonates, leave me a comment. Let me know. If you care to share, I would love to hear. Aquarius, Aquarius. Aquarius, this is going to be a really beautiful transit for you. You are going to have a trine from this Uranus and Gemini transit to your energy, which is so, so beautiful. Watch part one of this video if you haven't already, where I talk about Pluto and Aquarius and Uranus and Gemini vibing together, and also adding in Neptune and Aries energy, really raising the vibration of our lives. And Aquarius, I think you're going to feel this quite intensely and beautifully. You are going to experience Uranus and Gemini in your fifth house, which I'm going to get to in a moment. First, I want to say that Uranus has been in Taurus for you, and that has been in your fourth house of home, family, childhood, conditioning, roots, and belonging. So have you had some sort of change while Uranus has been in Taurus in any of these areas for you? You could have had a family member come and go. You could have moved out. You could have moved your home more than once or once. And you could have just felt like your home life was less settled than it normally is. Now that, and really the whole purpose of Uranus in your fourth house was to help you to feel more of a sense of belonging and rootedness in your life. Some of you maybe built a new house or remodeled or did something that, or you could have had, I'm sorry to say, some of you could have had something really, really hard happen in your home or family, but, or a breakup with a family member, or a breakup with someone that was living in your home. However, when Uranus moves into Gemini for 4 months this year of 2025, and then permanently for 7 years in 2026, April of 2026, the energy really shifts for you, because Uranus moves into Gemini, which trines your energy, beautiful flow, and it will be in your fifth house of joy and delight, the inner child delight that I call it, and also your unbridled creative expression, true love and romance, children. So this is a lighter energy for you. It's a much lighter energy. You could have changes in any of these areas. Aquarius, you will likely have people come into your life that are different from the normal people in your life, different in some way, unconventional to you in some way. If you want a new love and romance in your life, it will probably look different to you than it has before. Know that Uranian love relationships they don't always last, but they can last. It's just a matter of freedom. Like you are going to want freedom and independence, and so will the other person most likely. So of course a relationship's only right for you if your intentions are aligned, but it can be really fun, and if nothing else, it could be a catalyst to your awakening. A lot of times when Uranus moves through a house like the fifth house with true love and romance, we can meet someone that really brings us alive, that's very passionate, and that wakes us up to another aspect of ourselves, or maybe brings us back to a true self that wouldn't have happened if we hadn't met that person. So also your creativity might really thrive if you want to publish a book, or you want to do a show, or you want to paint, whatever you want to do that's creative design. You could really experience thriving on that level, or with your children in your parenting, or having a child perhaps. And let your inner child be your muse, beautiful Aquarius. Let me pull a card for you now. This transit is meant to open you up to more fun, more pleasure, more joy, all of that. Aquarius. Your card is diving into a task, the deep diver. Wow. Aquarius, this is the color that I always imagine for you, the blue. This is deep passion. You're going to have a deep passion at something, whether it's your own creativity. It says a task. So for a lot of you, what do you want to do on a creative level? Maybe you are, if you have children, maybe you are, wanting to do something really different with them. Maybe you're wanting to take them out of school and go do some humanitarian project somewhere. Maybe you are going to be diving into parenting books. If you aren't a parent or a grandparent, I feel the mermaid, I feel such, there's such a beauty to this card. I think for a lot of you, it's going to be creating beauty in some way. In what way would you like to create beauty? Beautiful Aquarius. Or maybe it's a task, maybe this is metaphorical. Maybe it's a task that has to do with technology, that has to do with something that's going to give you a new, more lightness, pleasure, joy, and a sense of your spiritual aliveness. Whatever it is for you, Aquarius, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, you are going to have this transit of Uranus and Gemini in your 6th house of optimal health, wellness, your daily habits, and your work life. Also, the schedules and routines. It's really the lifestyle house. So before I go into that deeper, I want to say that Uranus has been transiting in Taurus, transiting your 5th house of children, creativity, love, and romance, fun and pleasure. So it could have made, if you're a parent, it could have made parenting feel more unstable. If you have a love relationship, you could have broken up with somebody, or that could have changed in some way your relationship. You could have been really seeking love and romance with Uranus there, or you could have been focused on your creativity. You could have brought birthed a creative project into life. Or you could have, just gotten a whole new lease on life, Capricorn, around pleasure and fun and lightness. I hope that was true for you. Now, it was in Taurus, and Taurus is more solid, stable, earthly energy, but I think a lot of you probably had a focus on children or your own inner child, or any of the things that I just mentioned. So now, Capricorn, the energy is really changing. It's really changing. How so? Capricorn, are you happy in your daily life? Is there something that you want to change? Uranus is saying it's time to change it up, mix it up. If you're in stagnation in your job, if your work environment isn't healthy for you or happy for you, it's time to make a change. You may not feel this at the beginning. It depends on if you have planets or points in the very early degrees that Uranus and Gemini is activating. So it may take a little while, but the theme there so often it begins with restlessness, restless at work, restless in our health, restless in our habits, knowing that we have to let go of something. After all, Uranus is the planet of break down, break free, break through, break free. I think that's the order. And so something could happen that feels like some of you, I have to say, could, over this period of Uranus and Gemini transiting your 6th house, some of you could lose a job. You could be let go. But of course, that will only happen if that job isn't aligned with you anymore. A lot of times we stay in a job because of the money, right? We stay in the job because of the stability, and Uranus, throws a wrench in our stability so that we will do something more aligned with who we really are. So some of you could decide to start your own business, or to do something different, to do a different workout routine, or a different diet, nutrition, all of that. The whole purpose of this transit for you is to optimize your health and well-being, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, on all levels. Beautiful, Capricorn. So let us see now what the cards have to say for you. I thought I was going to sneeze. Okay, Capricorn. Your card is, protecting the future, the Dragon's Hoard. Okay, have you been focused on your future, Capricorn? Have you been thinking about what you need to do to protect your future? This is saying that being future focused right now is important. After all, we do have Pluto in Aquarius right now. You have been through the ringer with Pluto in your sign. Not all of you. I know some of you have told me, no, it's been great. I love Pluto in Capricorn. It really helped me. But if you're a Capricorn rising, you have had Pluto transiting in your 1st house, and now it's moved on to your 2nd house, and the 2nd house is a financial house. So this makes sense. Thinking about your future and protecting it. And usually when we're protecting our future, oftentimes we're thinking about our money, right? We're thinking about our assets. We're thinking about our material security. So this is really a nod to that, I believe. But also it's saying don't hoard if you feel like you could be so focused on, it reminds me of the 4 of Pentacles card, which is there's kind of a tightness around money. Like I'm going to be tight and I'm going to make sure I'm okay. And like it's coming from fear, in other words, not from your smartness. It's coming from fear for some of you. And that's where it's saying, what would you do if you were coming from love? What would love say, have you do? Because you don't want to not, okay? You don't want to not. Oh, Capricorn, my communication with you is giving me all kinds of reasons to laugh at myself. We we don't want to miss out on the joy of life and saying yes to the things that really empower us and will bring us alive because we're worried about money and because you're getting this transit in your sixth house, and that's where we often earn money through work, right? It could be speaking to those of you who actually want to change your work but aren't because you are concerned about money, finances in the future. So you get the idea. I hope that I've conveyed this in a way that's understandable. Pay attention to your heart, pay attention to your health when you're making decisions about your future as well. All the blue in this card is saying, bring down the energy of the divine, the magic of the divine, because the divine has your back and you're not doing this alone. If what I shared resonates, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. Beautiful Sag, you are going to experience Uranus and Gemini in your seventh house of relationships. What does this mean? It means there's going to be some new and different people coming into your life, and or a breakup of a relationship or relationships that are no longer in alignment with you. Now, before Uranus moves into Gemini, it's in Taurus and it has been here since 2018. And this is where you've been having this transit in your sixth house. Your sixth house of daily routines, habits, work, and schedules, and all of that. So you may have changed a job during this time. You may have released a habit. You may have had a boss or coworkers that were unconventional or discombobulating for you in some way. You could have really been focused on changing your health on some level, whether mental, physical, or emotional. You could have done some healing and therapy that brought you more into alignment with optimal health, because or change your lifestyle in some way, because Uranus is in the sixth house is also your lifestyle. Now it's moving into your seventh house. And as I said, this is your committed partnerships. So this is a time, Sag, to really be aware that you could be restless, restless in a relationship. Funny, that word restless, right? Like that you're not getting enough rest because there's something that's feeling anxiety, bringing on anxiety in your relationships or a relationship dynamic. Now, it depends on when Uranus speaks to your Sag energy in this area of your life. That's when you would be feeling this. It is an opposition, so it will likely come through another person or through your own awareness that something needs to change with another person. The people you attract into your life around this Uranus, during this Uranus and Gemini transit, could be quite different, flamboyant in terms of super expressive and different and letting their freak flag fly. They could be unconventional for you in some way. It could be a partnership that comes and goes, or if it lasts, it's because you're both giving each other the freedom that you need. And because in this energy of Uranus and Gemini, it's the butterfly going from flower to flower, taking in the nectar and then getting nectar from another flower. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that means that you're going to, meet only quote unquote players during this time, but it is a time when we tend to have less stability in relationships than we would others. But sometimes it's just that person has a Uranian nature to them. Maybe their natal chart is very Uranian in some way. My last and only husband that I've had so far, he was an Aquarius sun and he was very Uranian. He was. And I was having a Uranus transit when I met him. And we were together for 22 years. So, we have lots of things in our charts, right? Lots of different markers. And I do relationship harmony consultations if for anyone who may want to know about your chart with another person, if you're questioning, but deep in your soul, we always know if someone is right for us. Now, there's that phrase, we meet people for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? Beautiful, Sag. Let us see what the cards have to say for you. Also, clients can fall here. Seventh house is where we attract both people in our lives professionally or personally, romantically. So it can be best friends, it can be a lot of different kinds of relationships. It can be a time when just the people in your life seem to scatter to the winds. I'm not going to say all the people are doing that, but you could feel more that like the solid people that you've had in your life somehow, we can outgrow those people. However, if that happens, you will be more self-reliant and resilient as a result of this transit. So let me pull a card for you. And not feeling like dependent on a specific person, which is very freeing and liberating and really beautiful for your soul growth, Sag. Okay. Your card is Reconciliations, the Wailing Tree. Some of you will let go of somebody. Some of you may have a come to Jesus moment during this transit. It's the number 59, which is 5, reduces to a 5, which is change. You will experience change in one or more relationships, but it's kind of where the truth, like the rubber hits the road and the truth becomes obvious and you are freed of energy that isn't in alignment with you anymore. So some of you will reconcile with someone and some of you will reconcile something within yourself. I feel that on a bigger picture level, this card is about embracing the core of you, embracing the goddess in you, embracing the inner child in you, embracing the part of you that maybe hasn't had a voice up until now, to really go for what she wants. Look at all the fire in this card. Uranus is in Gemini, yes. Pluto's in Aquarius, yes. But we have Neptune and Saturn in Aries this year too for some time. Both of them will dip their toes into the Aries energy as well. So that Aries energy trines your energy, Sag. It's beautiful fire for you. It's inspiring. It's sparkful. You may really release a heavy load or a heavy burden or a relationship that's just been heavy for you during this time, and that would be tremendously freeing. Beautiful, Sag. If you relate to anything that I shared, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to share, I would love to hear. Scorpio. Hello, beautiful Scorpio. Beautiful Scorpio. You are going to experience Uranus transiting in the sign of Gemini in your 8th house of transformation, death, and rebirth, power and control, assets, shared resources, emotional and physical, sexual intimacy. I am thinking of this house more and more as the house of emotional attachments. And Scorpio, that means that this will be a tremendously freeing transit for you of anything that has been an emotional attachment for you that hasn't been in your best interest. Some of you could pay off loans. Some of you could have a change in your financial situation, assets. If you go through a separation with someone and you divide your assets, that would make sense with Uranus here. Some of you could change a partnership within a business. You could let go of clients. Clients could let go of you. Any of that would happen would be because the change is meant to happen, which I know is hard on our human selves and not something that we normally want. But also with Uranus here, anything can happen. You can have positive transits with Uranus moving through your 8th house as well. You could have a lightning bolt moment where you realize that you need to invest in something that becomes quite lucrative for you. You could, again, Uranus can bring sudden awarenesses, epiphanies, breakthrough moments. You could have quite a breakthrough here. All in the name for the purpose of aligning you with your soul's true path. Scorpio, when Uranus has been in Taurus, which is as this video is going live and, on and off until April of 2026, when it finally moves into Gemini for good. Of course, Uranus will be in Gemini for 4 months this year, as I speak about in part 1 of this video. But in Taurus, it's been in your 7th house. So Scorpio, with Uranus in your 7th house, that is change for you. Many of you may have already gone through a breakup of an important relationship, either in business or in your personal life, in a marriage, and so on. You could have met quite unconventional for you people during that time. You could have had a catalyst relationship that woke you up to a part of you that you were not aware of before. It could have been quite freeing and liberating for you, that transit. There are a lot of different ways that Uranus can affect you in the eighth house when it moves into Gemini, and that can also be a benefactor coming into your life. That can be something showing up that you didn't expect, that is, it can go either way, positive or negative, as our human self would call it. So, Scorpio, open up to the change and know that a powerful inner transformation is likely to happen for you on a psychological level with Uranus in your eighth house. You are going to come through this transit with you probably won't recognize yourself in your empowerment, because this really is the house of power and control, where we take back our power. So, Scorpio, let's see what the cards have to say for you. Your card is getting back into integrity. What I love about this is integrity is aligned with the eighth house. Integrity is exactly what the eighth house is, a plutonic house, right? You are plutonic, Scorpio, meaning that Pluto is your modern ruler. The eighth house is connected to Pluto energy, and Pluto energy is all about integrity. And this is saying, if you feel like you have lost your compass, you will get back into integrity during this transit. This is the wheel of fortune. Some of you are going to have a new fortune come into your life, financially or otherwise, through a person. It could be a relationship. It could be a business partnership. But some of you are going to feel like the tide is turning, the compass is turning, and the wheel is turning, the wheel of fortune. And others of you are going to be like, I'm just back into my power. I am back into my integrity. I am feeling strong and ready to go. Beautiful Scorpio, if you resonate with what I shared, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Libra, hello, beautiful Libra. Libra, guess what? You are going to have Uranus and Gemini making a beautiful trine to your energy in the ninth house of expansion, Libra. This is going to be a very expansive, lively place for you to have Uranus transiting. Now, before I get into that more, I want to say that Uranus has been in Taurus for you in your eighth house of shared resources, sexual and emotional intimacy, assets, loans, taxes, and real estate, where you have shared time, money, and resources with another person, often a very significant person in your life, either in business or in marriage or some other committed partnership. It's a financial house, and it is a relationship house at the same time. So with Uranus coming through with its change it up, break you free from stagnation, many of you have had some sort of change in a relationship in which you share time, money, an intimate relationship, resources, all of that. You could have gone through a divorce. You could have divided up your assets. You could have had a financial windfall. You could have had gifts of money from people. You could have had investments that really paid off, or investments that, turned into losses. Like you could have had, Uranus is a roller coaster energy. It's the unexpected. Now it's moving into your ninth house of expansion. We are moving out of the house of power and control and emotional dependencies and attachments. Uranus has worked on you with all of that, and now it's moving into the house of your spiritual expansion, your higher learning. It's a metaphysical house. It's a house of spiritual belief systems. It's a house where we are expanding in some way. Some of you will get a very intense, compelling, wild hair to travel, to learn a new language, to go beyond the boundaries or the limits that you have set for yourself, either internally or in your physical life. It's a real house of new territory, new adventures, freedom, saying yes to your heart. So some of you will leave behind something that has felt suffocating to you, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a belief that you had. Like, I know when I went through my divorce, and I'm not saying that you're necessarily going to go through one, but when I did, I have to say, like, I had to shift my belief that I would never do that, that was wrong, that was, that I could save my marriage single-handedly, all these things. Like, a lot of belief systems that were really ingrained in me that I had to let go of, because nobody gets married with the idea of getting divorced, right? Um, and so that really changed me on a lot of levels, having to do that, because we have to release that cognitive dissonance that tells us, no, you can't do this, even though your soul is like pushing you toward it. And that's just one example. For you, it could be a religion. For you, it could be a way of thinking. It could be a way of perceiving yourself or a way of perceiving the world. It could be like, I would never leave my hometown and now I am. I would never want to live in another country and now I do. Like, it could be anything like that for you. I would take small steps. If you're restless, I would take a trip or something that enlivens you, that feels just the right amount of risk, that wakes you up, because the whole purpose of this house is to wake us up on some level to more of who we really are and came here to be. Beautiful Libra. Let me see what the cards have to say for you. And you're getting a trine. I think I said that, but if I didn't, you're getting a trine, which is so beautiful. It's often something falling into our lap, new opportunities. Some of you will publish something, some of you will speak, you will present, you will teach. That's also this house. Or you will decide to do a learning program, whether it's like learning astrology or learning, getting a PhD or some sort of educational degree or certification, that kind of thing, program. Okay. Your card is yes, 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 yes. The unmarked trail. You are going on a new unmarked trail. This is the house of adventure. This is the house of new horizons, new territory, revelation. You're going to have a revelation that is quite healing for you, that heals your heart, that opens you up to, yes, it is safe to take an unmarked trail. It is yet it is safe to take the road less traveled. You are meant to take the road less traveled. You are a spiritual being having a, because am I getting it backwards? I get this, yes. See how you're having a human adventure, but you're a spiritual being. Be open to revelations. That's Uranus. It can give us amazing revelations. And um, Libra, when we get a trine to our energy, often those things they just come in. We just get what we need when we need it. So, and it feels more effortless with the trine. So this is something to be excited about and celebrate for sure for you. You're walking into a new chapter, a beautiful new chapter of your life, Libra. If this is exciting, resonates, whatever you want to share, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Virgo, hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, you are going to experience this transit intensely and personally when Uranus meets up with any planets or points in your sign. Why? Because you are one of the mutable signs, and you are going to get a square from this energy, which is something that cannot not be felt. And I only laugh because of my double negative there. But squares mean that Uranus is going to get your attention. It often means we have fears to release before we take a risk. Something is calling you into new territory, and this new territory for you has to do with career change, your life purpose, expressing it more fully, meaning, fulfillment, reinventing yourself, retiring, semi-retiring, having your own business, following a passion, following a vocation. In the beginning of this video, part one, I speak about what I did when I was asking for what is my passion and what should I do. So many of us on a spiritual path go through that point where we want something more, we feel the need for something more, but we don't know what it is. And it's scary to us and all of that, scary to our human self. And so some of you will definitely go through that with this transit. Just keep taking one small step in the direction of your desire. And really, in my book, The Magic of Saying Yes, I talk all about my journey of like finding my passion. So, and I give you lots of meditations and exercises and ideas for things you can do, along with sharing my own personal stories, things you can do to get the answers that you need so you can follow your inspiration, Virgo. That is linked in the description box below if it calls to you, or Uranus gets to Gemini. It's continuing in Taurus, and it has been here since 2018, and that has been in your ninth house. Uranus transiting your ninth house has been waking you up to your spiritual self. That's the goal. It's been opening you up to new horizons. It's been opening you up to new learning. I bet some of you have changed a philosophy on something. I bet some of you have a new perspective on life now. Some of you may have traveled to other countries, could have had a breakup with somebody in another country, somebody who speaks another language. You could have broken up with a religion. You could have broken up with a philosophy. That transit of Uranus in your ninth house was meant to open you up to more of who you truly are at your core and more of your inspiration for sure, Virgo. So now that it's taking you into the 10th house, it's like the rubber is hitting the road. It's like taking the learning that you had with Uranus and Taurus and applying it to your life, your career life, your passion life, your expressing something that brings you meaning and joy and fulfillment. And I know that not all of us make money doing, the things that bring us the most fulfillment. Some of us do it on the side, some of us work up to that. Some of us have a paycheck with something we do that isn't as exciting, but we do something else, as a vocation or as a hobby. So, that could be the case for you too. But bringing your new perspective that you've gained with Uranus and Taurus into this life, into this part of your life, the 10th house, because it's also your public work and your reputation and where we most are meant to shine. So Virgo, let me pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say for you, beautiful Virgo. Uranus and Gemini in your 10th house of career. Some of you are going to do something that feels scary to you at first. Some of you are going to be like, I don't know if I'm wired for this. I don't know if I can succeed. I don't know if I can do it. Believe me, I felt all those feelings in everything that I've done since I left the practice of law. Everything I started that way. So you're not alone. Okay, so your card is a tidy house, clarity, and organization. What I love about this is that across from the 10th house is the 4th house. Uranus could very well make an opposition to any of your planets or points in the 4th house as well, and you could feel it there. But this is saying to get really clear for you, tidy up your house, organize your things, get rid of clutter, Virgo. You're already really good at that, but I know with my own, with a daughter in Virgo, with a daughter who has a son in Virgo, this is just one experience of Virgo energy. I understand that, but she can either be super organized and neat, or it can look like a tornado hit her room. So I know that not everyone fits the Virgo stereotype. Sometimes it's like, but, often it is all or nothing with Virgos. But what I'm trying to get to is that when you take care of your external world in terms of clearing clutter, and this could be clearing internal clutter too. This could be clearing out fears, clearing out your own feeling of stuckness or your own confusion about career. It's a number one first step. Clear our external reality, clear our inner reality, and you will get the clarity and answers you need. Beautiful Virgo, if this resonates, leave me a message. I would love to hear. Leo, hello, beautiful Leo. Leo, you are going to experience the Uranus in Gemini transit in your 11th house of hopes, wishes, and dreams. This is the house of fulfillment. This is the house of the world. This is the house of financial gains. Also, friendships, allies, social media platforms. Leo, I can tell you, having just had Uranus move through my 11th house, that you may very well experience changes in your friendships during this time. Only the friendships that are not meant to last will go away, or friendships can be up and down during this transit. But Uranus will not allow us to spend time and energy with people that are not for our highest good. So that can happen during this time. And I understand that that's not fun. On the other hand, you can have real gains if you have an audience or a following, you could have a gain there. You could have real success with the social media platform. You could have wonderful exploration with world travel. You could have a hope, wish, or dream come into fulfillment. Uranus doesn't just break and take things away, it also opens us up to new horizons. And the 11th house in the tarot is the world card. So it really is the world is your oyster. And you can definitely have an increase in finances during this time. Now, Uranus has been in Taurus, transiting your 10th house of career. So have you had, Leo, any changes in career? Have you had a shift? Some of you have maybe let go of a career. Maybe you, some of you could have been let go yourself. You could have fired your boss. You could have walked away. You could have started your own business, turned a vocation or a passion into a livelihood. You could have done any of that. Or some of you very likely retired or shifted your career in some really, important way. Maybe you were like always working at an office and then you became like where you just had a lot more freedom. You not just worked at home, some of you, yes, but also maybe you know, really took the reins and became your own boss, so to speak. So with Uranus and Gemini now, you may get really excited with doing some sort of community, like you could become a leader in the community in some way. You could take on a cause. You could become an activist. Um, you could begin to brand your own message, your own business. The 11th house is also branding, marketing, promotion, and all of that. The whole point here is for you to become more authentic in your expression, Leo, and following your dreams and building up your assets if that's important to you. And you're getting a sextile. You're getting a sextile from this energy, which is the air of Gemini is really sparking and combusting your fire in beautiful ways. It's fanning your flames and bringing you more inspiration, more ideas, more positive communications, more support, more allies, more feeling like you are getting the solidifying alliances or just getting the support that you need from other people. So Leo, let's see what the cards have to say for you now. Leo, your card is the Sky Dancer's Surrender. Okay, so first of all, what I'm seeing in this surrender is that there's something happening that's beyond your control. It's a sextile energy for you. So for many of you, it's really quite beautiful. But since Uranus is still in Taurus when this video is going live, and it will go back and forth between Gemini and Taurus until April of 2026, Uranus in Taurus is in your 10th house of career. Something may end for you there. And if it does, it may take you into a place of surrender. This is a beautiful image, right? It's the dragonfly. Dragonfly energy is transformation. Dragonfly energy is the veil is thin between the worlds. We don't see what we need to see until we do. And in the meantime, it's a good time to ask for signs and synchronicities. Like you may start seeing dragonflies. This moon in the background reminds me of the eclipse season. So notice what happens for you during this March eclipse season, especially coming up. That also may give you more information if you need clarity. But overall, you are meant to surrender. You're meant to go with the flow. You're meant to not push the river and to open up and receive. I'm getting a strong sense of receiving. Opening your arms and just engaging in the magic of life. There's a magic here. The magic of the dragonfly, the magic of things happening behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, your spiritual guides, your angels are working on your behalf, beautiful Leo. So if you want to claim that, claim it in the comments below that you are receiving the magic of your guides, of your angels, of the universe working on your behalf. I love that so much. Okay, Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, I have my moon and rising in Cancer. And Uranus and Gemini is going to be moving through our 12th house, beautiful Cancer. So before I talk about that, I want to say that you have had Uranus and Taurus transiting your 11th house. Raise your hand if you've had changes in friendships, alliances, community. I have definitely experienced that. I had a very close friend that I thought was going to be my friend for life. We were friends since 7th grade, and she moved on. And it was really, it was a huge death in my life. Now that happened while I was also having my Pluto moon transits, but Uranus in the 11th house often brings changes in community, friendships, or alliances. Sometimes they can be great. I've had a lot of new people come into my life as well, but a lot of them have been temporary, which can be Uranus energy. They come and they go, and you're like, wait, I thought we were having fun. Where did they go? Or you could have seen Cancer because you have such a big heart and you do tend to attach emotionally. You could have seen where you wanted to give more. I know that's a theme for a lot of Cancers. You wanted to give more than was coming back to you. Or you could feel like people just seemed like fly by nights, people that really didn't have the desire to invest. And the thing about us Cancers, we do want to invest in our friendships. We do want to invest in people that matter to us, that we like, that we want to spend time with. We do invest naturally, right, Cancer? And so people that don't, you know, Uranus has shown us that. Now Uranus is moving into, and you could have had wonderful bursts of positivity during this transit. You could have had a social media platform take off. You could have had a following or an audience really build. I know that's helped me somewhat during my early YouTube years here. You could have had financial gains. Your assets could have grown during this time. Both. It can be money come, money go, and so forth. It can be both. Now that Uranus is moving into the 12th house, what does this mean? A lot of people get scared about the 12th house. Now, I have my stellium in Gemini in the 12th house, so I have quite a bit of experience with the 12th house. Now, I've never had, obviously, Uranus in Gemini here in my lifetime, and we'll see. I will report back to you guys, especially because Uranus is going to make a conjunction to my Venus right away. I'm excited, though. I think the biggest thing that Cancers are going to receive from this transit is the veil will be quite thin with Uranus here. The cosmic intelligence speaking through your spiritual guides, your higher self, your angels, and so forth. Off the charts, life changes perhaps coming from an epiphany, an awareness, an awakening. I feel that that is the biggest energy here. In addition, there may be an ease in reprogramming your inner narrative or your subconscious mind. That would be great. If you feel that, this is the 12th house is karmic relationships too. So you could have people come into your life for a short stint that are meant to show you something or grow you in some way on a soul level. You could have your spiritual connection. I really think that's going to deepen for most Cancers. There was something else that I really wanted to say that was important here. I don't like it when things come and go from my mind, Cancer. This is the house of the mystic. So your mystical self, I know what it was, like astral travel, out of body experiences, very likely, more likely, lucid dreaming, spiritual technologies like these, much more likely to have these kinds of experiences with Uranus here. Uranus, after all, is the highest octave of, mercurial awakening, the highest octave of those messages coming in. This is also a very creative house. This is the house of foreign lands. You may feel if you get pinged, so to speak, by Uranus, you may be off to another country. I know that can happen to me too. Anything can happen. The thing is, when Uranus I was going to say gets you. I don't want to say that. I don't like those words hits and all of that with astrology. I just don't think that those are empowering. But when Uranus inspires you, let's say that, when you get the bee in your bonnet from Uranus, you can surprise yourself with what you are willing to say yes to. That's happened to me numerous times in my life through Uranus transits. But just know that this is the time not to be scared, but to be open and to know that the 12th house is the house of spiritual awakening. It is the house of karmic stuff, yes, but it's also the house of expansion in its own way. So beautiful, Cancer. Let us see what the cards had to say. And of course, you could get transits to other planets in your chart as well. That's true for all of us, regardless of our sign. Cancer. Let me see what the cards have to say for you. Uranus and Gemini. Your card is me talks, repairing the body, mind, and spirit. I mean, this fits too. Because the 12th house can also be a cleansing house. It's the house of endings and completions. And not everything that happens in your life is an ending or completion. Obviously, like I hope that I'm an example of lots of new beginnings and things that have been fruitful in my life. Just because I have 3 planets here doesn't mean that I've had all endings and completions. But this is saying it's time to focus on you, to take those long baths, to spend that time in nature, to do the deep dive. It may feel like a very spiritual transit for you. You may spend a lot of time in the ethereal realms and get tremendous, tremendous benefit from doing this inner detox. Um, you may feel like you go through a period of repairing your body, mind, or spirit, and that this brings you into a new sense of wholeness. So, beautiful Cancer, if anything that I shared resonates for you, leave me a comment. Let me know. I would love to hear. My beautiful friend, I am so excited for this transit of Uranus and Gemini. Can you tell? Have I expressed enough passion for this? I love, love, love Uranus energy. I love it. It breaks us out of the mundane, the honestly boring routines of our life sometimes. It shows us another aspect of ourselves. It brings us more into alignment with our divine expression and authenticity. So if you enjoyed this video, thank you for liking, giving it a thumbs up. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. When you like, comment, share, and subscribe, you help activate the algorithm that puts the video out to more people who love astrology, and I am forever grateful for that support. If you would like to do a personal astrology consultation with me or a coaching session, go to my website, check out the testimonials that other clients have shared after working with me. We can do a 2025 year ahead reading. We can do a 90-minute reading if you'd like a bit of coaching in addition to your chart reading. We will go through all of the transits that are going on for you right now, through a natal chart reading, a heart's desire, relationship, harmony, lots of different choices. So go check them out, and it will be my absolute joy to meet you on Zoom. If you would like some clarity, some coaching, I offer clarity coaching sessions. Go to my coaching page. The links to both my astrology and coaching pages on my website are linked in the description box below. As promised, I have a free gift for you, and that free gift is a soothing guided meditation. It will connect you to your divine wisdom, to unconditional love. And you can get that by going to my website, signing up for free to my weekly inspirational astrology updates, and then you will get your instant download free gift at the same time. So, my beautiful friend, let me know your feelings about Uranus and Gemini. I would love to hear what are your thoughts. Share them with all of us. In community, we truly can thrive. And until my next video, I am sending you all my love.